say here, because I'm not gonna lie, I love watching Solarson and Kresuu. I'm looking over at Spectre because I feel like Acno and Blaze are going to be also looking over at Spectre. And
okay, so I get heat for singling out Cider.
But the only reason why
you get to single out Spectre.
Look, the reason why, of course, going into this is that is like definitely not the same name you see at the top points up here as usual. But I like to see people make those big performances and get the adjustments, like we were saying before. However, currently Kresuu's the only one who's off to the side there, it's kind of playing out very similar to what we expected, and I'm actually surprised that this is the first lineup we're seeing with the double Ogrim pick. It's been a little bit, we've seen some mix-ups with the Lances, but we're finally seeing one show up here.
But then on the other side, we have exactly what I would have expected from this team. Acno, Blaze, and simpLe. Acno coming in with the Brynn, Blaze coming in with the Ogrim, and simpLe coming in with the Wushang. Regular picks for all of these players. Now, normally in the 2v2, Acno doesn't lead with the Brynn. Sometimes that can be a swap or like specific to this tournament. I'm playing the Brynn, but definitely coming in game one with the Brynn here. They've had a good day so far. Have they dropped the game? I don't believe that they have. So this one's definitely going to be tough for Solarson, Kresuu, and Spectre, because these are definitely majorly different caliber of players on both teams.
I mean, with the red team's lineup, you have plenty of ways to find straight hit knockouts. This is one of the hardest teams to do that to. And with simpLe, you have the Wushang. You also could go with the Val if you feel like it at some point, which he does finally get the fall there on the Sirolin. But I think the defense is going to be the biggest factor. We mentioned this pre-show, and I think that's going to continue here. However, it's actually not that far off. We do see a knockout, however, come in as soon as I say that. I am so sorry, Kresuu.
Now, see, you said you were looking at Spectre. I'm looking at Kresuu because I'm alluding back to Spectre and Solarson, a team who has definitely put out some incredible performances in the past. And I just feel like I haven't heard the name Kresuu in a minute. Definitely still a recognizable name, don't get me wrong, but it's not a name that like we're talking about on pre-show. It's not a name that we see like creeping up in brackets like, oh, Kresuu, what are you doing here? Or anything like that.
Well, I mean, actually, you might be might be on point with that, but all of a sudden it's way closer.
It is. You're exactly right.
As Kresuu trying to find a knockout deep on the top, simpLe falls. And, well, the blue team has actually snuck a lead. And apparently if we talk about anybody today, they immediately pop off. So I'm glad to see that Spectre is making me eat my words because he's the only one still holding on to those 2 stocks.
Now trying to dissect the chaos in the middle, it is those 2 Lances.
To do with that.
Yeah,
like 2 Ogrims just like went for like a full sandwich play right there.
Doing
and
Lance
Solarson
business.
is hovering over with Sirolin. You get sent up, you're right into the sig play. You really just landed for free in that. There were 3 blue team members, and you just fell in between all of them. Not a single one of them hit you.
I swear, this stage, because there's so much purple in it, and how quickly everything is moving between a red and blue team, everything is just purple. Everything is purple, and then there's also ramen.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately for the red team, a lot is going wrong all of a sudden. Solarson fell, but now we have a 2v2.
Super winnable.
They have the best health position right now. Actually, this is way more winnable. 2v1. simpLe is not going to fall to that recovery.
simpLe's like only real hope here is to take out Kresuu. It's to get through Spectre and take out Kresuu.
Yeah. Spectre's body blocking very well right now. You have to watch out. He's somehow dodging all that, but he's going to finally find him. That Cider is going to take him out. He's like, look, Kresuu, I'm going to need you to hold this real quick. Like, he's in the way. You're right in front of him. This is an opportunity to get that free lineup, and he found it. And it was, in fact, Spectre who closed it out. And see, I did that for the storyline, man.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all it was. It was just a build up the moment.
You're exactly right. You nailed it because he carried that game. 5 KOs. Only 2 falls, stayed in it the whole time. It did 676 damage. Definitely the most damage that game. So you big dogged him, and he popped off. I big dogged Cider, and he popped off.
Yeah. So if anything, we're amazing coaches. Like we are doing such a good job at building up the hype and like the energy for everyone to say, let's go us.
Wu-Tang is for the children. We're for the players.
Exactly. Now. I said exactly so quickly to that. It's just like, yeah, you got it. But still, amazing job from them, honestly, going into
surprising into game 1.
Yeah. So how does Acno, Blaze, and simpLe answer back? That's not a sentence I expected to say after game 1.
I think they just realized that it's game 2. and they're like, okay, game 1 is finished. We are, quote unquote, the better players by any and all metrics out there. Seed, PR, winnings, pedigree, history, championships, literally anything that you point to, any number that is under Acno, Blaze, or simpLe's belt, any player on that team is going to be better than essentially everybody on the red team combined.
Like you said, Mountain of Gold, and you have plenty of room to keep that gold here on Great Hall. A switch up where you have a bit more room to work with. Not necessarily in that center. We did say earlier that it was actually a bit more chaotic than we expected in center, but you have the ability to control that top. However, right now, it's
Solarson.
still... Yeah, Solarson is just refusing to let anybody land.
We talk about how it can be like a little bit difficult to hit your bread and butters when there's this many players on screen because there are so many more options for you to be interrupted out of it. Solarson said, no, sir, I'm just going to keep hitting sidelight nairs because I'm a Lance player and that is my combo.
Yeah, triple Lance has actually been a nightmare so far, especially on these smaller stages. But now these axes too, the double up from Kresuu and Spectre has been a nightmare. But Spectre going for the desync over on the right, getting freely punished, and he's going to end. No, he doesn't. Okay, he still lost it. He still lost it. I was going to say. They had a free 2v1, but what a reversal. Oh, my God.
I'm surprised Acno didn't position that a little bit more to the right. Maybe he was favoring the left side just a little bit in case he let it rip early, so then he would go into the ground pound that came out from Acno. So I'm not really sure exactly what he was thinking in that moment, but I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt for sure.
I mean, the fact that you got a reversal on Acno is already a big enough check mark to put on your books. Like that, he is one of the most difficult to do that with. But Solarson being the ace of the staff on the top right now. Meanwhile, we're going to see Blaze fall again. We said, Blaze is one of the people we looked at to survive the longest in this, and he's been actually getting jumped quite a bit.
This is a little bit of a surprise beyond just the victory in the first game going to Solarson, Kresuu, and Spectre. The fact that Blaze is this damaged this early on, because simpLe and Acno are on pace with Kresuu and Spectre, but if you look at Solarson, he's up a full stock compared to Blaze.
Let's see if they can find an answer right now. Trying to find a recovery off the top there is simpLe, not going to work. Meanwhile, you got... who's that up in the skies? I can't tell who's up anywhere anymore. I think it was Acno struggling to land, and he does, but now you got red team just controlling the center. Look at the way they're all positioning Sparky to say, come here, box with us. You're all deep into red. Any straight hit recovery we decide to throw out means you're probably losing it.
Now, Spectre's doing a great job of not extending too far in either direction. He was mostly playing towards the center of the stage. He would go over to the right corner, but he wouldn't actually extend into an offstage scenario. Solarson is so good right now.
Dude, even if you got by Solarson, you weren't getting by Kresuu, who was on that platform. And they had so much cover that every decision they made has been wrong. And now Blaze is out. simpLe is like he's not taking a lot, but he's struggling to land. And now you have the potential triple Lance or double Lance, at least at the minimum, controlling that center. It's been impossible for them to actually get anything started. This has been kind of crazy.
We'll have to look at Blaze's numbers to see exactly what went wrong. Because, man, he is taken out of this game so early compared to everyone else, despite being one of the best 2v2 players in the entire world. As someone who is able to take apart those situations and find the right move to do when it seems like all hell is breaking loose around him, the fact that he's taken out this early is not good. I
mean, I'm glad that the replay system exists because of the fact that, there's been so much chaos that it's been hard to keep track of everything. And speaking of, remember we were talking about the sword signatures from Sir Roland. They cover so much range that even the Lance might not matter as much. But now Acno by himself, he would have to force 2 knockouts on Solarson and Kresuu to hopefully get that 1v1 against Spectre, who once again is the most undamaged on the screen.
It is still certainly winnable for Acno until he gets hit by that side air from Spectre. Solarson really only put out, Solarson put out 562. I thought he was going to do more than that. It was actually Spectre who put out 694, almost 700 damage.
Again, I am the best coach in the world. So, only 297 for Blaze, and in favor of his 534 damage he took. That is crazy. That reversal edge guard was also amazing. That Acno ended up losing his stock right there, but the fact that Blaze fell so early, consistently getting called out right there by that recovery, he had no, to be fair, he had no routes he could actually take that were safe to get to that platform, but that's just been the red team's dominance. They have had so much stage control. I don't think I've seen blue team dominantly have an actual moment on center where I go, yeah, they're winning here.
Yeah, I would agree.
you can't because you have double lance staring you down, and then when they switch off, well, congratulations, you got double axe. Like, are you really winning? Are you having fun yet, son? Like
that team combo is kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I want triple Ulgrim because the Roland is working really well.
Yeah.
But I also do kind of want a triple Ulgrim. Because I think that would also be disgusting. Just having the possibility of 2 axes always on the field, or the possibility of having a 3rd axe on the field.
Well, finally we see the Val show up. I was kind of expecting that before, but now we see the Val show up here. More defense, back to what simpLe's known for. But Blaze got cooked at the start of the match. Like, he actually got comboed to the skies immediately. Luckily for him, he's kind of been holding ground a little bit more. simpLe trying to hold the edge guard, but look what happens anytime they go in center.
Yeah, this is just really bad for the blue team, because you mentioned Blaze getting mixed up early on, and then it's like, okay, not anymore. But then you look over at acno, and he's the one getting mixed up now. The red team is just completely taking apart what largely should be a more or less free win for the blue team. That's how well red is playing.
The red team has been making this amazing. However, the blue team has gotten them all deep into red themselves, so they've answered back. If they can keep them on that top platform, it'll work. But there's that sider coming through for simpLe to find the first knockout. Somehow Kresuu finding his way back on, Spectre sneaking his way back on stage, only momentarily though.
Yo, Spectre doing so well. He's French though.
Oh, that was Solarson. Oops.
So that's still a victory for me.
I'm mixing them all up. There are so many bodies.
There's a lot of players on screen all at one time. Thank the heavens for those 3 letters above everybody, because I would not be able to handle that.
No, and however, look at the way that they doubled up on the left. You thought you could punish 1d sig? No, here's another. Like, I think that's been the biggest problem for the blue team, is they think they have an opening, and then they just don't realize that Kresuu and Spectre have kind of said, well, what if we mash here? And it's been smart, calculated positioning on it, too. They always keep each other covered. But a dead even game right now, Sparky.
It is favoring the blue team in terms of damage, because Kresuu is also pretty damaged and Solarson is pretty damaged. But all of a sudden, just like you said earlier, even when they were in the lead, I didn't feel confident that they were going to win the video game. And as we saw right after that, Blaze taken out. simpLe starting to take some damage. Kresuu is at least on final stocks as well, so we're pretty even. It still is a little bit in the blue team's lead because Spectre's getting into the orange while acno's pretty healthy.
Yeah, that was really good on Blaze getting that revenge kill instantly after that too, because he ran down there, said, no, I'm getting you. But they finally get rid of Kresuu on the top. Spectre has been the literal ace the whole time. He takes the least amount of damage, and that breakup from Solarson mattered so much. He stopped the combo with a simple D-Light, separating them.
But he didn't follow it up with the recovery, though it hurt his own teammate who is in the red. So he got the breakup, didn't do the damage, was able to notice in that moment the right thing to do was just hit that D-Light to end the combo.
Exactly. Oh, that sider coming through, and that's going to catch him over on the side. simpLe being so hard to hit for a good while, but once again, that was smart on Solarson, knowing my teammate won't fall to the sider, but you will.
Oh, that neutral signature just got the KO. simpLe. Wow. All of a sudden, the tides have turned quite a bit here.
When in the world did the turns table, man? Like,
just now.
Like, it's been nuts, but Blaze, relatively healthy, but acno being the thing that they needed the most. They needed him to be, acno, like, being impossible to knock out, but it took his own teammate. The recovery coming in from simpLe, knocking him out off the top.
Solarson, very much in the red. They're probably looking for this KO. Not quite to get off the top. Edgeguard set up, the weapon toss goes up. It was basically a stacked weapon toss too that kept Solarson alive there. Nice side air from simpLe to clean that one up. It is now a 3v1 situation.
Well, Spectre doing his best, trying to get a recovery in the center, just get some difference, but you're facing down a very scary spot. Even if you get rid of Blaze, you still have simpLe and acno so well positioned to get that combo right there. That's all it needed. No 3-0s happening here. We're going to see another game, and that is exactly what they needed, because at one point I still thought this was going to be a 3-0 to start this off. They were looking really good to start it.
The blue team was able to come back from that because of acno.
Yeah.
He did, I can't remember how much damage, but it was almost 700. It was very high damage and also very high KOs.
Yeah.
So he was really putting the team on his back there, off of what Spectre was doing and already putting the team on his back. So we kind of have two carries, at least based off of that last game and some of the previous games if we're talking about red team, but it's been like Spectre in the carry position and now Acno in the carry position.
That was after Acno dropped the stock early.
Yep.
Like that was in no, we are not losing right now moment from Acno. We're going to see a switch up to Spirit Realm, so that top platform being taken away, I feel like maybe it was a little bit too much when it came to trying to control people. However, this is perfect for the red team, because what have they been doing this whole time? Well, now they have 3. You have triple Lance sidelights coming in at any given point in time when you touch the ground.
Dude, Solarson is just, he's nailing so many sidelight neutral airs. Hitting so many of them in the beginnings of these games, giving the red team a really nice lead so far.
What even is the correct choice to land? You get hit by recovery on your way down, you get caught by one of these nairs, and all these sidelights just coming through. Like, they've been willing to trade. I think the biggest thing is that for the red team is they've been comfortable with trading, which is throwing off the blue team as we see Blaze fall first. simpLe doing his best to get back on. Amazing recovery, actually an incredible recovery route from simpLe to keep himself alive, but only for just a little longer.
He was in sweat beats too at like the beginning of that and was able to make it all the way through that edge guard and get back in time. simpLe doing his best here to add up some unarmed damage. He's going to be hunting for a weapon spawn. One is not coming in quite some time.
So
it comes in. Oh, what did he do? Tell me, Ajax.
He was over on the right-hand side. As soon as he saw a commitment, instantly went for the GCD light, caught him, and then once you thought, hey, I'm safe because you think I have nothing left, I'm not going to go do this when I have somebody coming at me, still committed to recovery to take him out. They do have Acno fall there.
That was a nice side air that came in from Kresuu, but that was also amazing offstage from Acno.
Yeah.
And simpLe, he's going to be able to make it back.
All right, much more doable game here for the blue team, but still for the red team, I think the biggest thing is that they've kind of played around this whole Lance thing, but this is blue team's best opportunity now to realize it. They have double axe and sword up. There's no Lance to cover that center stage anymore.
I think you got to focus on Spectre. Not only is he the most, well, not necessarily the most damage, but has the fewest stocks left. Maybe you send Acno specifically after Spectre to bully him out of the game because he is the one who's been doing the lion's share of the damage for that team. But, man, this is still very much in the lead for the red team. This is an impressive lead.
They got rid of simpLe, and then the amazing edge guard from Kresuu to close it out on the bottom. And Acno falling instantly afterwards. Blue team can't make any more mistakes. They have plenty of defense, sure, but they have Solarson chilling on that 2 stocks. Like you said, they have to get the Spectre. If they can get rid of Spectre, they can force it 3v2. And there they go, getting a double in that. That was huge from Acno.
That was clutch. Even if Blaze falls here, which he doesn't have to, he can just kind of play defensively. It looks like he's trying to put some pressure onto Kresuu, but he can just play defensively, and we have a 2v2 situation.
Yeah, if I'm Blaze, like, I'm just waiting to line up, and anytime I see an edge guard, I go out there, simply get a hit and then move. Like, at that nair, to break up what Kresuu's positioning was. Like, let me just break this up, stop it, and now you're forced to take more damage. And Kresuu needs to get over there to go help out Solarson as he
took
flies.
Out one. Kresuu is going to fall, and we have a Game 5.
Our very first Game 5 of the day. And it comes at the hands of Acno, Blaze, and simpLe getting the W's they needed the most. And once again, much like last game, they started off with a deficit. Like, it wasn't like they've just been dominating the whole time. When there has been multiple Lances on screen, the blue team suffers. But when they get rid of them, they have been doing much better. So I think that that's been a big problem for the red team, is that when Lances aren't on deck, they're not winning nearly as much with the axes, and they need to hold on to Lance as long as possible if they want to get that dub.
Which is interesting because the axe play is also still good, but it seems like when they don't have a majority of Lances on their team, like if there's 2 Lances and 1 axe, they're cruising. It's damage city, baby. No worries whatsoever. Even when they sometimes have 2 axes, if it's then Solarson on the Lance, they can still do pretty good. But once there's not like at least 1 Lance on the board, then you need to be worried if you're the red team. The damage output just isn't there. I
think this switch to Blackguard Keep helps the blue team. I think the thing is that the red team was taking advantage of before is that when they had center stage chaos, they were winning. Now, if they could force 2v1s on the platforms, they might be fine. But I think that the advantage going to Acno when you're that close to the blast zone will make me say I'm completely wrong, because they get double knocked out as simpLe flies too, and the red team is making me eat my words instantly as they have taken a lead.
Now, I'm not just disagreeing with you because what you said happened to be wrong. But it's the way I firmly think and believe deep in my heart of hearts is that this stage actually favors the red team because it gives Lances plenty of room to run.
That actually is a very good point, because they were going for Chaos Blaze before, but they can actually reset neutral here. Answering back, though, is Blaze of all people. You've needed Blaze to show up badly throughout these past couple matches. He's been doing good with getting back into it after, but much like the other games, after losing all their stocks first, they're getting themselves right back into it. Blue team seems to only get things started after they have gone down.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen any certified Blaze classics coming out whatsoever from him so far, and this is the first set we've seen from them. So we haven't really had any major Blaze moments so far, any gigantic clippable moments that they're going to talk about on the Monday Esports dev stream. But I feel like from acno, we definitely have. simpLe, maybe in there. Maybe it's just something I didn't happen to catch. But it's like the red team is just going all over the place with them.
Well, they finally catch Blaze slipping on the right. Meanwhile, simpLe was winning very well on that platform on the left with that 1v1 separating. I believe it was Kresuu for a good amount of time. But Solarson has been a huge problem. Spectre's still a problem as well, but I think Solarson has really picked it up the last few games as he gets that nair, separates with the side air as well. Look at the way that he lined him up to find that acno knockout.
Bro, triple lance is the wave.
Yeah.
It is 100% the wave. Honestly, probably just play 3 Ulgrims. Unless you have a Roland, like Solarson has the Roland here, just play 3 Ulgrims. And I think you got... Oh, Solarson! No! He got a little too cheeky! Just flying around. He said, you know, gas is a little bit cheaper now. I can burn some.
Well, you screwed up because you were driving a 4x4. And he is not only going to get rid of that one, but because he was so far out of the way, that allowed him that free 2v1 on Kresuu to get it down. 1 stock apiece here, however. Game number 5.
Dude, that honestly could be like a major contributing factor.
I think it will be.
To the blue team winning the game. Like, Blaze still might be taken out here very quickly. Same thing could go for Kresuu, but it's been Blaze so far. Oh my gosh, dude. Spectre's lance is so nasty. Where has this been in 2s? Like, we've seen Spectre and Solarson do well in 2s, but those performances are few and far between.
Yeah, that's a big part of why when I was looking at this beforehand, it's like, okay, maybe, but no, like you said, the lances have been a problem. 3 of them on deck. The recovery comes through, not going to be enough, but the jabs coming through instantly broken up by Blaze, but he has to dip. He can't afford to hang around. Look at the menacing feel that simpLe is going through as there's 3
dude.
and acno falls.
I think... Like, when Blaze broke up what was happening, I can't remember which member of the blue team it was, Blaze is going to fall. Bro, we are going to see the red team move past simpLe, Blaze, and acno for a top 8 winner side qualifier, unless simpLe finds a miracle.
Yeah, simpLe needed that side air to knock out. Like, that's actually a big part of what he needed.
Oh, dude!
Oh my God! Oh my God! That was almost...
I'm so angry.
That was almost the best Matador play I've ever seen. From getting all of the Raging Bulls rushing right at you. He had that ground pound come in by accident from Solarson. He needed just one good guess to get a side air and sneak away. But no, a huge upset coming in here.
That punish.
acno, Blaze, and simpLe getting sent to a limbs.
That punish from simpLe, like, really the lack of punish from simpLe on that recovery that was just charged up. That, come on, man. You are not going to win the set if you do things like that.